Hey everybody, you're listening to Tom Tolbert, color analyst for the Golden State Warriors, and I'm on Jim on Base.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jim on Base Show. For today's very special guest, we have an NBA veteran. He's a current Warriors broadcaster, was a beloved Bay Area radio host as well. He now hosts his own show called the Tom Tolbert Show. Please welcome the great Tom Tolbert. Tom, thanks for coming on.
What's going on, Jim? How are you?
Doing good. Like we said earlier, it's finally happening. We're making it happen today.
I knew we'd get it done one of these days. I mean, well, you actually got a real job, so you have a schedule that you have to adhere to. I just kind of float around, although with a granddaughter in the house, you never know where that schedule is going to go. It could fluctuate from day to day.
Yeah, today was kind of a big day for you guys, right?
It was first day of school for Camila, or first day of kindergarten, so first day of real school, or as I like to call it, first day of school you don't have to pay for. So, which is obviously very nice. But she was super pumped up about it, and I said it on my show today that first day of schools always bring back memories for everybody. No matter who you were, where you grew up, what era you grew up in, first day of schools bring back, like for me, they brought back lunch pails, right?
Mm.
Where you had I always had the NFL lunch pail or the Scooby Doo lunch pail, or I forget the other lunch pail, the Kiss. I had the Kiss Army lunch pail. It was incredible. Loved it. You got the thermos with the top on. You pour the drink in there, whether it's high C or Tang or Hawaiian Punch or whatever it was back then. If you drank water back then, you were a hobo, right? Now everybody drinks water. It's like, oh, you drink water. Now you didn't need water back then. Give me the Hawaiian Punch. So it brings back all kinds of memories of first day of school. So I got a chance to go pick her up, and it's within walking distance of the house. So I walked there with my dog, picked her up, and walked back home, and it's a good day.
Yeah, what does she call you? Grandpa? Or does she call you anything else, like nickname
Yeah, just
wise?
grandpa or papa. Those two things, either or. She's 5 now, so yeah. I just whenever she's looking at me, I know she's talking to me. So I'm like, all right, work up. What do we got? What do we need to get now? We need to get a glass of milk. We need to get a bowl of cereal. We need to get a what are those sandwiches called that she always
Oh,
all the
Crustables, right?
Uncrustables, exactly, Uncrustables, which are pretty good by the way. Corn dogs, whatever. Like you're always on call. I mean, mostly her dad and aunt, but occasionally Grandpa gets called into duty, and today was one of those days.
Well, it makes me wonder. You kind of got the mustache going on. So does she approve of that, or does she
I
have any?
do. Yeah, she likes the Old West. Big fan. Uh, I'm gonna wear. All I need to do is get like a star and put it on my chest. Get a vest, star, put it on my chest. I could be a sheriff for Halloween. So I'm good to go. It's funny because during the pandemic, I was bored, so I grew a beard, grew a full beard. I did the Davy Jones beard with the tendrils coming out, like in Jack Sparrow. So I did that. I just, I ended up on this because I haven't had a mustache in forever. I had one in junior college, and I had my picture up on the wall in Cerritos Junior College, and I had the mustache. And somebody took a picture of it and sent it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that is a disgusting mustache." It was like 7 different colors. I didn't keep it for very long, so I had a mustache forever. But I've always had facial hair, usually like a goatee, something like that. Sometimes full goatee, sometimes just the King Tut goatee. And then this time I go, I'm gonna go with the mustache, just for the heck of it, and see how that goes. I had it for about 6 months. I don't know how long I'll keep it. It's not. I mean, it's not great. Well, it is great, but it's not advisable for like if you want food in your beer,
Mm.
perfect. I'm not a fan. Stays wet. Wife doesn't love that. So we'll see how long it stays. I think everybody likes the look, but the practicality of the handlebar mustache, not great. Or I guess Fu Manchu would be more like it, or whatever it's called.
Well, do you ever wish that you rocked it like as a player, so you could have it on your basketball card, or?
Yeah, that'd be cool to have like a different beard or facial hair, beard, mustache, facial hair every year. So every card, you'd have a different one. Uh, I did have the full goatee. It wasn't a great look for me. I look back on it now. It's like that wasn't a great look. Most of my cards though had no facial hair,
Mm.
none. And I started having more facial hair about the time I lost all my hair on my head. As I like to call it, deforestation. I was like, okay, you can't just be bald. Well, I mean, you can, but I didn't want to be bald and have no facial hair. It's like
Mhm.
just straight nothing. Looks like a baby's ass. It's like, now I gotta do something here. So that's about the time I started having at least a little something on the chin.
Well, you're pulling it off, and
I try.
well, I got to say, you're enjoying the new period of life, right? You got your own show, and like right now, you're in one setting, but you've also you do like live streams in the backyard as well with guests.
Yep,
So
yep.
I imagine that's fun switching it up, right?
It is. I mean, most days I'll try to go outside and do the show. It's just so nice out there. And I have a great setup out there. And I've found certain ways to like, I'll have to stack stuff up sometimes, put the computer on it, just to be able to get the computer to face of the cameras like equal with the eye level. And with the guests, my guys Ogden and Max Schmeling, the guys that run the show, come over and set everything up and everything. Looks a lot more professional than when I do it. But if I can go outside and it's nice weather, I got the canopy out there so the sun's not beating down on me. I like to do it. I prefer to do it outside. With guests, it's a must. This room's not big enough. I mean, I guess it could be, but they like to be outside. I like to be outside. We're drinking beers and we're just having a good time anyway. So during the winter, I'm sure I'll be inside more. But yeah, I mean, it's just been fun. I don't do too many. I don't do like, like a lot of people doing 4 or 5 a week. That's just to me, it's just too much. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think I have that much to talk about. Got to be honest, I'm not sure anybody has that much to talk about. And I did it for 28 years. I was like, what are we gonna talk about today? We just like repeating ourselves over and over and over. Now you can find stuff to talk about, but you know, 3 days a week for now, and then maybe football season, maybe it goes more. I don't know. I mean, right now the plan is 3 days, but I'm having a blast with it. It's a lot of fun to do. I get to reconnect with a lot of guys
Mm.
that I talked to, a lot of guys and girls that I talked to when I was doing the radio show over 28 years. So getting a chance to have them on the show and not have any time constraints, like get a break for commercial or do this or stick in. So that's been fun. I've really enjoyed that. And there's still, a handful of people out there that I'm going to try to get on that I've had on over the years. They're busy. Their schedules are busy too, but it's been, yeah, I mean, I've had a good time with it. I get to do my own thing, talk about what I want to talk about for however long I want to talk about. And then when we have guests on, they're very accommodating with their time. And, we've gone, we've gone 3 hours before with a guest. We had Steve Kerr on for
Mm.
over 2. Ray Ratto was on for 3. I think Tim Kawakami was on for a couple. Bill Martin, Matt Mayoko. I mean, all those guys. I mean, we just get back there and start shooting the shit, and all of a sudden you're like, God dang! It's like 2 hours have already gone by. So it's been a good time.
Yeah, and like you said, you name drop some of the names that you've had on, and it's got to be pretty cool to. I mean, you have Steve Young, JT Snow. They're all walking to the backyard, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, no, JT would. Now we didn't get Steve in the backyard. We had to go to his backyard.
Oh,
He
okay.
was like, we're going, but that was something that during our show we made a bet. I'm not sure what the bet was. And I said, if we win the bet, it had to do with Tahoe Golf.
Mm.
Uh, that if he hits a certain benchmark, then we had to do something. But if he doesn't, we get to come out for a show. And that never materialized. So I kept hitting him on it. And he goes, all right, come on out. So we came out and did the show actually in his front yard. And it was great catching up with him. Brent Jones,
Mm.
who I'm planning on having on once a week throughout football season. I told him I'm going to get you out here one of these days. I go, it's a little bit of a problem here in Dallas, and I'm here. That creates a little bit of an issue, but where there's a will, there's a way. I go, maybe I'll come out there and we'll do a show there. But like, they're just certain people that I've built up a relationship with over the years, and it's just fun to talk to them. And this is an avenue to talk to them, and it's very conversational. And we get into try to get into the important topics, but it's just basically relationships that I've built up. But yeah, to get back to your first point, yeah, I mean the backyard's great. I love the backyard. I love the setting. The weather is great out there, and it just feels good. Doing a show outside, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, and if you want to have like, it's a newer thing for you. If you want to have good luck, point in the right direction, good vibes, you have Kirk Reeder on, a little rabbit foot action, right?
We've had Kirk Reeder on.
He was
He
showing
took
you the
us. He
shed,
took
right?
us. Yeah, it took us through a tour of the shed, which is unfreaking believable. Like, it's like, bro, like this is a museum. This is like a national museum. And he's like, yeah, I stole a bunch of this stuff. I go, of course you did. Of course you did. You're Kirk Reeder. He's amazing. He's an absolute beauty. But for him to take us on a tour of the shed, which is awesome, seeing all the memorabilia in there was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I tuned into that and saw the live stream, and you were on the wall too, right?
I was on the wall. I'm not sure what the hell I was doing on the wall, but I think Woody just puts whatever. Like if you give him something, Woody's like, "Oh, it's going on the wall." They may not be in a prominent place, but it didn't even matter. And I love the fact he calls it a shed when it's
Yeah,
like 5,000 square feet. It's like shed. This is a house.
yeah.
You turned a house into a museum. I mean, it's outstanding. It's absolutely incredible. And the great thing is, you have to have buy-in from the family. This isn't
Mm.
something you just do on your own. The family will be like, "Hey, look, you go do your thing. You want to do this? Go ahead and do it." But maybe it started off as a shed one day. It is no longer a shed. Trust me.
Well,
You put that thing in Southern California, it'd probably go for 3 million.
I know. I'm like, you got to Airbnb that thing or something.
Oh, can you imagine? I
That's not a
mean, you
bad
could.
idea, huh?
That's a great idea. You just got to make sure you don't have any kleptos in there.
That's true.
You're trying to pilfer some of your product. But I mean, for a baseball fan, are you kidding me? It's an
Yeah.
incredible place. It's got a pool table in there, TV. You can watch the games, surrounded by all this memorabilia. I mean, you get a grand a night easy for that
Yeah.
place. Easy.
Well, I don't know if you're drinking one now, but like you mentioned it when you do the interviews. Do you have a go-to beer right now, or?
No, but I am drinking. This is from Alvarado Street
Oh, nice. Okay.
called Salad Bowl. It's like a 7.0 IPA. I don't really have a go-to one. I have go-to breweries. Fieldwork is one of them.
Mm.
Cellar Maker is one of them. Faction, Bare Bottle, Alvarado. I like quite a bit. Wondrous over in Emeryville is a really good. Sante Darius over in Oakland. There's probably like 6 or 7 breweries that are local or local-ish. Alvarado's down in Monterey. Most of them are right around here, and I just find myself in well, Russian Rivers, a
Mm.
couple hours away, about an hour and a half away down in Santa Rosa, and I usually have some of their beer in my fridge too. So, but there's about 4 or 5 that I can drive to and just pick up beer if I want to, and then when Russian River comes out with a beer that I really like, I'll order it, and they you order the beer. And you can do the same with Alvarado Street. So every once in a while, I'll look on Alvarado site, see a couple beers that I like, and order them. But and there's probably 5 or 6 that I
Mm.
that I like.
Well, as you're saying that, it made me wonder. I don't know if you know the comedian Brad Williams. He's a little person. I had him on. We were talking about beer, and
Uh-huh.
he mentioned how it only takes like one or two, and he's like fully lit. So,
Wow.
yeah, it made me wonder if you're like 6'8". Do you have to get more in you for it to hit you, or?
Well, I don't know. I don't get lit very often. I don't. I can't even remember the last time I was like fully hammered. I mean, it had. Oof, I mean, it could be like 10, 15 years possibly. Uh, and I drank quite a bit at Lori's 40th. Yeah,
Mm.
that was, I remember coming home, laying on the ground, and just asking somebody to point a fan on me. And I did not make it up the stairs that night. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to make it up those stairs. So I'm good. But for the most part, like, I mean, everybody knows, listen to the show or listen to the pod, knows I love beer. But I think a lot of people think, oh, he loves beer. It means he drinks a lot of beer. It doesn't mean that. It means I like the taste of beer. I like having beer. Like I'll have a couple a night. I'll go in the fridge and have now probably have 3 tonight because I'm having one during the show. But I can't even remember the last time I was like buzzed because I
Mm.
just I don't drink like that anymore. I don't. It's not that I don't like the way it makes you feel, or it's not. I just don't. I just, like 2 or 3 a night's like plenty for me. And when I go out, with the boys, maybe I'll have like 4, maybe 5 max. But the days of having like 8, 9, 10, 11 beers at a whack, those are long, long, long gone. So I'm guessing probably though, if I were to choose a number, like to get like kind of lit, as you say, 8 to 10.
Okay.
But it depends on what the ABV is too. You can
Yeah.
go anywhere from like 6 to 8, 7.5 on IPAs. So, you know, 8 if it's in the sevens, and if it's in the sixes, somewhere around there. But it probably still take a little bit since a tolerance isn't built up for me to like, because I drink a lot. It's just I'm more of a consistent drinker. I don't know if that's a good thing. Probably not, but I don't drink a lot in one session. I'm just like I'm a gap hitter. Okay, I
Yeah.
just like to put it in the gap and we're good. Give me a double and we're all good to go.
Well, since you are doing your show, it made me wonder, for you, do you have like a dream interview? Is there anyone they're like, man, I wish I could get to this person and have them on one day?
Ooh, man, dream interview.
Or have you done it
I mean,
already?
that's a lot. There's a lot of guys I would love to have on. Magic,
Mm.
um, Bird. Bird doesn't do a lot of stuff. So Bird would probably be somebody that I would love to have on. Gretzky
Mm.
would be a super cool guy to have on. Um, I'm trying to think other sports that I would love to have on. I mean, football. I've had a lot of my football. Like I've had Steve Young on. That's about
Yeah.
as good as it gets for me. All right, he's a great guest. He was one of my favorite guests of all time. Never mailed it in. This is a Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
and he gave you everything. He was attentive, listened to what you had to say, didn't just mail in answers. Like I loved, talking to that guy. So talked to Joe Montana before. I mean, obviously him, but I've had Joe on before. Trying to think if there's anybody baseball wise. It'd be like I got a chance to talk to Rod Cruz, and my favorite George Brett. Would be I'd love to have George Brett on. He was one of my favorites all time growing up. So George Brett. Willie Stargell passed away. I loved him growing up. He was great. Went to Encinal High School too.
Mm.
That'd have been pretty cool. But like George Brett, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson's my all-time favorite player. So those would probably be in the sports world. I'm sure there are some, in the non-sports world, but I haven't really had time to think about it because
Mm.
those aren't on my radar. They ain't coming on my show anyway,
Yeah.
so I can think about it.
Well, I got to ask, since I'm a big music guy, I always ask everyone I have on, who was your first concert? And are you a concert goer or were you?
I don't go to concerts as much as my wife. My wife loves concerts. She's going to be at a concert tomorrow night in Albuquerque with some friends. Like that
Ah,
is literally what she does. She goes to concerts. I think she's been to 4 concerts in the last 2 weeks.
wow.
Yeah, I'm not a concert guy. The last concert I went to, in fact, it wasn't that long ago. It was Bad Religion
Mm.
and Dropkick Murphys over at the Fox in Oakland.
You had some friends
And
at that.
did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, great concert. Like I loved it. I went there mainly for Bad Religion. They're one of my
Mm.
favorite bands of all time. And I'd never seen him. Just whatever for whatever reason, never got a chance to see him perform and went and they just killed it. Like killed it. The Dropkick Murphys were really good too. But the first one I'd gone to, I don't know if it was Red Hot Chili Peppers
Ooh.
or Kiss. It may have been Kiss. My cousin used to work for a ticket broker growing up, and they would pay us $20 on Saturdays to go to Irvine Meadows and stand in line and buy tickets. Crazy. And $20, 20 whole bucks, right down there, like 20 miles away. It's probably, I don't even know if we made our money back in gas. Um, but my cousin was like, he worked for him, like, and then he got us all organized. So every once in a while, he'd give my cousin tickets. Like my cousin wanted tickets, and my cousin knew I liked Kiss. He goes, "Let's go see Kiss over in Meadows." So we went and saw Kiss, second row, and it was Motley Crue opened up for him.
Mm.
So
Wow.
yeah, we got to see Gene Simmons spit blood all over a girl in the second row. She was loving it. She was like, "Oh, this is incredible. Are you kidding me? Love it." I was like, "Oh my God, look at that! It's incredible. That's awesome."
Well, it made me wonder because you mentioned the Kiss lunch pail earlier. So, do you have a favorite
Yes.
member? Are you a Star Child guy, or who are you in the band?
You know what? I never really had a favorite guy. I guess I kind of liked Ace Frehley, but then he was gone.
Yeah.
Uh, Peter Criss, he was gone. I mean, basically, it's Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, right? They run that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly Gene Simmons, although him and Paul Stanley probably split everything. But Gene Simmons, like, I was like, is this guy a rock star or a marketer? Like, they have kiss everything, like literally kiss everything. Forget just the dolls and the lunchbox. I mean, they probably got kiss condoms out there and kiss hair clips out there and kiss scrunchies out there and kiss oil filters out there and kiss lawnmowers out there. I know for a fact they have kiss caskets. It's
Yes.
like, I think, what do we do? Really? I mean, Gene. I mean, Gene. No, Gene. Gene's going to push Kiss as far as he can to make as much money as absolutely possible, which is wild. But yeah, they were like the band that was kind of the dangerous band back in the 70s. You kind of look back on that now and you laugh. But I went to that concert. I got a Kiss concert T-shirt. My mom wouldn't wash it. She thought they're all devil worshippers. I was like, what? And look, being that I was like 15, if she wasn't watching something, then well, I wasn't wearing something because I wasn't watching something. So yeah, I was like, well, this sucks. This is a cool T-shirt too. I like this T-shirt. So anyhow, yeah, that was my first concert. But yeah, I haven't gone to a lot of concerts. The only multiple concerts I've gone to, I might have gone to the Chili Peppers twice. That was way back when. I went to Oingo Boingo 3 times and Tool three
Mm.
times. And I said, I'm probably the only person alive that's gone to multiple Oingo Boingo and multiple Tool concerts. Like, there can't be many of us out there. That's going to be an endangered species, I would think.
Well, I can't believe Bill Walton, he never dragged you out to a Grateful Dead show or anything.
Now, Bill Walton never got me to a Grateful Dead
Uh,
show. I wasn't a Grateful Dead guy, which is interesting, being that I live up here, but I didn't grow up here. And I mean, I don't, they're great. They're obviously incredible musicians, but it just that wasn't my. I never told Bill this, but no, that wasn't my wheelhouse, so to speak. I know I went to one concert I do remember was Van Halen with we were backstage. It was me and my buddy were backstage. They got us go backstage passes, and it was me, him, Will Clark, Matt Williams, and I think John Burkett was there too. A
oh, yeah.
bunch of giants there. And that's back when I was playing. So we're all backstage watching the concert, and that was pretty cool. And then I went to Lollapalooza, got to just kind of roam around backstage, got some passes for that. That was cool. Uh, Shared a 40 with Ice Cube. That was pretty cool. And I got a chance to interview him on the show, like about, I don't know if it was a year ago or 6 months ago, about the big three.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think he remembered, to be honest. Anyway, he was cool though talking to him because he grew up in LA too. He's a Laker fan.
Mm.
I was a Laker fan growing up, not anymore. Uh, but it was cool talking to him about that. And I don't know, I don't even know if I brought up the Lollapalooza thing, but I was like, yeah, shared a 40 with Cube, fantastic. Check that off the list.
Yeah, check the
I
box.
didn't even have that off the list, and I didn't even have it on the list. And then I put it on the list, and I checked it off. I go, okay, boom, we got that done. We're good to go.
Awesome. Well, it made me think too, kind of back to your college days. You were teammates with the great Kenny Lofton, right? I don't know if you
Yep.
remember. I sent you a little video clip. I had
Yep.
him at a golf tournament. He called you the Black Hole. So do you have a response to that, or?
So Tom's nickname is called the Black Hole.
Black Hole.
Once the ball goes in that black hole, it never comes back out. And that was Tom Tolbert.
Well, my response to the black hole is, as I told him at the time, and I told the rest of the team at the time, if I'm going to shoot it, it's going to go in. Why would I pass it back out to you? It made no sense from a logic standpoint. Like, why would I decrease our chances of scoring by passing it back out to you? Just give me the ball. Let me go to work down there, and we're good to go. Although, Kenny was a great player. Steve was a pretty good option, three-point shooter. So was Craig McMillan, like Sean Elliott. We had a great team. We had an incredible team. Although Kenny was probably the best athlete, not just on that team, one of the best athletes I've ever played with.
Hmm.
And I played in the NBA for 7 years. And that league is chock full of athletes. and that guy was still like a notch above most players that I played with. Just the quickness, the speed, the acceleration, the jumping ability, all that. So I did. I want someone with a baseball pedigree to tell me why he's not in the Hall of Fame, what he's been able to accomplish. Like that guy was an awesome leadoff hitter for an awesome Indians at the time
Yeah.
offense. It was, I mean, now it was him, it was Robbie Alomar, it was Albert Bell, it was
Yeah.
Manny Ramirez, it was Vizquel, it was Tomei. I mean, it was awesome offense, and he was the table setter for it. He was outstanding. So I would love to see. He'll never get. I don't think he's going to get in, but I really, you look at his numbers. Numbers are really good, and you look at like the way I look at the Hall of Fame is okay over like let's say an 8 year period of time. Are you one of the best in the game over those 8 years? And I think he could legitimately say yes. Maybe if they win a World Series, maybe things break differently for him. But no, I love Kenny. Kenny's incredible, and it'd be great if he made it one day.
Yeah, like you said, I definitely think he's underrated. And it must have been really cool for you at the end of his career. What are the odds that you'd be here in the Bay Area, comes to the Giants, and he has
Yeah.
the walk off to send him to the World Series?
Yep. No, that was really cool. It was well, I do I actually it was fun, but I actually blame Kenny and maybe a little bit JT Snow for me not being able to fully root for the Angels in the World Series. Because most people that know me know I've been an Angel fan since I've been probably 14, 15.
Hmm.
And it's the first time you get to see them in the World Series, 2002, right? And they had a great team. I love that team. It's Salmon and Erstad was one of
Uh,
my favorites. AK and Fulmer and Garrett Anderson and Troy Glaus. I mean,
yeah.
I love watching that team. Although even though I couldn't really root for him, it was still fun to watch him kick the Yankees' ass in the playoffs. That was probably the most fun I had during the playoffs. But anyway, uh, because it was the Giants, I couldn't fully invest in the Angels because I wanted to see Kenny win and I wanted to see JT win.
Mm.
And I always blame those guys for not letting me be an Angel fan during the World Series. God damn it. The one time the Angels make it to the World Series, win a World Series, they have to play a team from the Bay where I'm doing a radio show. And we're the flagship for that station, but I could have overlooked that. I've been fine. Everybody wants to root for the Giants. I can root for the Angels. Whatever. Screw it. I don't care. But the fact that one of my teammates, former teammates, is playing for the Giants, and somebody I knew in college, JT, I knew in college, is also playing for the Giants. I'm like, fuck me, I can't catch a break here. Like the Angels finally get to the World Series, and I can't fully. So I mean, I kind of won either way, but I kind of lost either way because I really couldn't pull.
Yeah.
I couldn't completely pull for the Giants and Kenny and just because my allegiance to the Angels and I didn't know anybody on the team, like my childhood team, like you can't break. It's hard to break that. But then I couldn't completely pull for the Angels because my former teammate and somebody that I knew played for the Giants. So that was a weird World Series for me. I went to 3 games, went to a couple down in Anaheim and one here, and I think that did the Angels win all of those? I think they won all those games. So who knows? Maybe if I'd have stayed away, the Giants would have won. Blame me.
Yeah. Early heartbreak for me. And
Yeah, I bet.
well, you kind of talk about there having those relationships, and one thing I thought was interesting, I just had on recently in the last couple months, Mike Bibby, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, you guys both played for Lute Olson, and then I
Oh,
had Glenn Ozabuki on a couple weeks ago. He
I
played for
love Glennon.
yeah, he played for Nelly like you, so it's got to be pretty neat to do you kind of connect with players of different eras based on coaches you've had that maybe are the same guy.
Yeah, I think so because I mean, the coaches changed throughout the course of the years, and I've never really asked like Mike or Miles or Jason Terry or guys that played for Lute. I guess I could ask Luke. No, I don't think I ever asked Luke this either. What he was like when you played for him.
Mm.
I get the feeling he was pretty close to the same. But I don't know that. I know Nelly changed a lot. Like Nelly, when he coached the Bucks, was just a fucking madman. Like just crush guys. And then he was a little nicer, I guess, when he coached the Warriors and I was on the team. It wasn't nice, but he's a little more. And then I think he got a little more. But Nelly always had that edge to him.
Yeah.
He grew up playing for Red Auerbach, right? Grew up in a certain era, and America was different back then. So you're going to handle things differently and treat people a little bit differently, especially when you're the coach. But I think it is interesting to go back and ask guys like how'd you like playing for him? What was he like? Did he yell at you? Did he? Because Lou used to get on me. Nelly did too. All my coaches got on me. I wasn't the biggest self motivator, got to be honest, but I did respond well to outside external motivation from coaches. Like I never took it as like, hey, this guy doesn't like me. Why is this guy always on me? I just like, okay, he wants me to get better. I got to work. I got to work. I got to work. But I kind of needed that, and Lute did that, and Nelly did that. But no, I mean, you look at what Lute was able to accomplish from '88 until early 2000s. I mean, he's one of the. I got a chance to play for one of the best ever in college basketball, and then Nelly, obviously, one of the best ever in the NBA. And it's just fun looking back on it now. How they went about their craft and how they motivated their team and the X's and O's that they're able to put themselves in advantage situations. You don't really see it then because you're too busy dealing with your own stuff. Like you just gotta, okay, this is my job. This is what I'm doing. People always ask me what it was like being on the court when Jordan was playing. I'm like, well, I really, Jordan's Jordan, but I was worried about Horace Grant. I wasn't worried about Jordan. I had my job to do. I had my assignments to take care of, and that's what I was concentrating on. And I think when you're in the fight, you're just like, okay, what's my job? What do I do? It's not until after you get out that you realize the brilliance of some of these guys. And Lou was brilliant, Nelly was brilliant, and what they did, how they manipulated the game, it was different the way they did it. But it's an honor to have played for both those guys. It really was.
Well, you speak about accomplishments and everything. You've had a great career. You've done so many different things. I think about you when I'm in the Warriors media room when I get accredited for games.
Yeah.
Well, what was the
I thought you
honor
were going
like?
to say, I think about you when I'm in the shower. I'm like, Jesus, where's this going?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said media room, but I know exactly where it's going.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What was the honor of being? I guess being the urinal in there. It's called the Tom Tolbert flush. So.
Yes, it is. So, Rick Welts was the president of the Warriors when Joe Lacob and Peter Guber bought the team. And Rick's a great guy. Love Rick. I worked for the league office for a number of years. I think he's working. I think he might have gone back to work for somebody. I don't know, it was Dallas or Phoenix, but maybe
Mm.
Dallas. But he was with the Warriors at the time. And Rick was the guy kind of behind the scenes. All the business stuff, all the stuff you don't see as a basketball fan because you're just concentrating on the team itself. He's putting together all that. Get a stadium built, put that together, put that together. So Rick was incredible. And Rick used to come on with us occasionally. And we talk about the Warriors and talk about what's going on with the new arena that ended up being Chase Center. And I told him, I go, when Chase Center is built, I know I'm not getting a statue, right? Okay, that's reserved for the Warrior gods, right? You're talking Rick Barry, you're talking Chris Mullen, and you're talking Steph eventually will have one, and Draymond, and Clay, and whoever else is in there. I don't want that because I'm not getting it anyway. So, but can I get a urinal? Can I get a Tom Tolbert urinal? And he just started laughing. He goes, "Oh, I could probably make that happen. I could probably make that happen." Like, and he made it happen. He made it
Wow.
happen. I actually have a Tom Tolbert urinal in the media center in Chase Center. And the funny part about it is, I've never been there.
Really?
I actually never taken a whiz in the Tom Tolbert urinal. I've never even. The only time I saw it was before Chase was completed. But I don't go down there. Like
Mm.
I come in the top section. I take an elevator from down low, come up to the top, go through the United Club, I think is what it
Yeah.
is, and that's where our broadcast booth is. and then do the same thing, go home. So I don't go to the media center. I don't go hang out with anybody. I don't go do stuff. The only time I'll mess around or I'll deviate from that is maybe once a month or so. I'll go down there and I'll see Steve Kerr.
Mm.
So I'll go up to Steve's office. We'll talk, bullshit, whatever, have a beer, and then I'll go home. But I've never even been to the media center. I'm like in the media for the Warriors. Never been to the media center. If I had to go to the media center, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know where it is, but it'd be embarrassing to go, hey, where's the media center? I worked here 9 years, 10 years. Would you be right here? We go, okay, we're good. We're good. We take it right here. Uh, so yeah, I've never even had the privilege of wetting my own urinal, which is kind of sad.
Well, I can tell you, you got to take my word for it, but I've done it. It works great. So, yeah.
Fantastic. I'm glad.
Good
All
water
I
pressure.
ask is everybody be gentle. Just be gentle.
Well, I wanted to ask really quick. It kind of hit me
Yeah.
today. When you were a rookie, you played with Del Kerr, and then you ended your career
Yep.
with the Hornets, right? So it just made me wonder, did you ever see a young Steph Curry in your career?
I
Or?
did. And you know what? I say this, and Dell was great. I mean, it's no wonder Steph turned out the way he did. I mean, Dell and Sonya are incredible people. Uh, and they were great back when I was playing for the Warriors. They were really nice to me, really nice to Lori, my wife. And I'm pretty sure, like, this is a long ways back now. So I can't swear to this, but I'm pretty sure Lori and I babysat for Steph. And it could have been Seth at the time, although I'm trying to like piece the years together.
Mm.
And that would have been probably either it was 89 or it was 95. And I think 95 makes no, no. See, I'd have to piece it together because they were young. They were like really young at the time. They weren't like kids. They weren't like 7 or 8. They were like probably
Mm.
2 and 3. Now again, there's a possibility, however remote it may be, that I could be completely full of shit. But I'm pretty sure that we babysat for them when they went out, and I should tell Steph, hey, you know what? You owe me an interview. I
Yeah.
did that for you. And be like, you sure? I'd be like, I have no idea. It sounded good though. It sounded good. But Dell was awesome. I mean, how about that family of shooters? Seth, Dell, and Steph. If they ever had family horse, forget
Yeah.
about it.
I'm
It's
staying out of
over.
the driveway.
It's not even a contest. It's not even a contest. The only ones that could probably give them a run for their money, and they'd have to work on their creativity, or not work on their creativity. They'd have to use their creativity. Would be the Berries. Now,
Mm.
The Berries got a pretty creative family. So, but man, as far as shooting and range, I mean, it didn't get any better than that. It really doesn't. And Steph, well, I like his dad, just a great guy, incredible guy.
Well, I believe your account on possibly babysitting him because I got to interview Steph last month at the Tahoe
Oh, you
tournament.
did?
Yeah, and I said,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, who was your first concert?" And he said it was him, Seth, and his dad, mom and dad. They went to see Janet Jackson. So maybe before that, they went out, saw a good concert, and left him with Mr. T. You know.
That's highly doubtful, but I appreciate it.
One of my final questions I wanted to hit really quick
Okay.
because I've had all of Run TMC on, and
Okay.
I wanted to get your account. I remember all of them have said this specifically that before Mitch Richmond was traded, you were there during that time. So they've all said how if we all stayed together, we definitely think we would have won a championship. So what do you remember about that? And do you think that's true too from your account?
You know what? I've always said that I think with that team, we're about 20 years ahead of our time.
Mm,
Because that team was based on perimeter. We didn't shoot as many threes as we probably should have. But the 3-point line wasn't a thing back then. We scored 162 points against Denver to
wow.
open up the second season. I think it was a 90 season. We beat them 162, 158. And I think we were 2 for 4 from three. We made two 3-pointers in that game. It was either 2 for 4 or 2 for 5. I know we only made two. But we took 109 shots in that game, plus 50 free throws, 50 plus free throws. Denver shot 130, had 130 field goal attempts. Insane, just an insane number.
Wow.
I go back and look at that box score occasion and go, this is crazy. This is nuts the way. If we would have shot threes, we could have scored even more, been more efficient. But that just wasn't the game. Teams ran back then. I think teams back then ran more than they did now, a lot of them.
Mm.
They just didn't shoot the threes. So the numbers didn't explode. We averaged about 120 a game, 118, gave up probably 117. We're very good defensively. But I think if we would have shot threes, the threes would have counteracted the twos that I was giving up against Akeem and against Patrick Ewing and against Charles Barkley and against David Robinson. They were like real centers back then that if you're going to try to play
Mm.
small, you're going to get punished. So we got punished, but if we'd have shot threes, we could have counteracted that. I think in a couple of years, if we would have been given time, and mostly Timmy, Mitch, and Chris, and then the draft picks, I think if the Warriors would have caught on to the 3-point thing, and they would have said, you know what, let's utilize the ability to shoot the three because I can shoot the three a little bit. The percentages don't look good, but when you don't shoot it that much, your percentage is never great. I think I could have been a good 3-point shooter, at least adequate. Rod Higgins was,
Mm.
Chris Mullen was, Mitch Richmond could have been. Timmy wasn't much of a 3-point shooter, but he was a penetrator, right? He was like, you spread everybody out, get him in the middle. Good luck stopping that guy. So yeah, I think if we would have figured out the 3-point line, I think there would have been a chance to win a championship. Now, I mean, the defense still would have had to improve. Our defense was brutal. So you can't outscore everybody. You can't win every game in the playoffs 138 to 135. I mean, that's just not going to work. So, but it would have been fun to see it stick together. And then you had the Billy Owens for Mitch trade. That one
Mm.
hurt. And that's really was kind of the downfall because then that led to Chris Webber and Nelly and that whole thing. So that just kind of it would have been nice to see where it could have gone. I'll tell you what, it would have been nice to see if Chris Webber would have bought into playing center
Mm.
and not had to be a power forward. What that team could have done because that team had Timmy, Chris, Billy Owens, Latrell, Chris Webber. I mean, that team was fucking stacked. That was a stacked team. Now they got run by Barkley and the Suns. It got swept that year. They won 50 plus games, but I think that's also a team that if you give them a couple years, but they could have never been given a couple years because Weber wasn't going to let that happen. Weber and Nelly just did not get along. Weber saw the game one way, Nelly saw the game the other way, and that was just it. That was it. That was toast. And they sided with Nelly. Ownership did. So Weber left, terrible trade, and then Nelly left, and then it was like, fucking, this thing's over. It's done. So, but to answer your question, yeah, I don't know if we would have won a championship, but I would have liked to have seen and have been a part of where that team could have gone. We had a bunch of guys who knew basketball, a bunch of guys who could think on the fly, a bunch of guys that didn't need plays set for them all the time, and a bunch of guys that could shoot. So it would have been fun to see, but oh well, what are you gonna do?
Well, Tom, it's always good to connect with people I like. It's an honor to have you on the show. I grew up not only listening to you and like Ralph Barbieri and whatnot through the years, but I called in from time to time. So to now have you on the show is pretty full circle.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. It's great. Really was. It's great catching up with you. And if you ever need me, give me a buzz. Maybe during basketball season, one time we can reconnect.
Awesome. Well, one last quick one then. What are you doing the
Yep.
rest of the night? What's going on?
Rest of the night will probably be spent going. I'll probably watch a little Angels Dodgers.
Mm.
Since my good friend Steve Kerr always wants to bet me Dodgers Angels, and I'm just like, okay, really? Give me odds. I need odds. I got the Angels, okay? And although the Angels did sweep them last time, that was pretty sweet. I did enjoy that. So I'll probably watch Angels Dodgers. Watch a little Padres Giants. See if the Giants can keep their flickering
Yeah.
playoff hopes alive. Because if the Padres run them out of the building this week, that might be over at that point. Like they need to kind of. This is one they need to win the series for sure. Sweep would be great. That's asking a lot, but just win the series. I mean, you're 2-11, the last 13 at home. I mean, God's sakes, win some games at home. You're losing a bunch of, I don't want to say bums, but a bunch of teams are well below 500. So I'll probably watch that. I've been watching a series called Smoke on Apple.
Okay.
Watch that. Maybe I'll watch one episode of that, but that's pretty much it. That's my life. It's been my life. Play sports, watch sports, have a beer or two, and then watch something else and go to bed and do it all over again.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. You're one beer down, two more to go.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.